What's up guys, how you all doing? Today I want to just sit here and talk to you about something that I have learned kind of over the years, and especially recently. I've been getting into lots of hobbies with my YouTube channel, like knives, Pokemon, just name a few. There's so many different collecting hobbies, like watches, I don't know, there's books, especially Catherine love books, and those books, if it's signed by Albert Einstein, just a signature items could be, there's book signature, that could be just random stuff signature, like Elon Musk signature on some pictures could be a couple $1,000s, and if it's like token by Lord of the Rings books signed, those books go into hundreds of thousands of dollars. And how do you build up to it? It seems to be all these hobbies only for ultra rich people. Only rich people can afford it. The only thing we can afford is just cheap Pokemon cards, cheap watches. But you know what, in reality, we can all get there. It takes time and years collecting, starting off from the bottom and figuring it out, what sells, what wanted, maybe create some cards and triple, quadruple your money. But the goal is collecting, from my understanding, is not to pay out of your own pocket, unless you're, I don't know, a doctor or have like unlimited amount of money. Because if you have 4 or 5 kids, even if you're a doctor, for paying for school, for healthcare, well, I guess if you're a doctor you don't have to do that because it will cover your healthcare. But all those expenses are so expensive to run. After everything, there's not much money. After all the bills, there's not much money for a hobby. Luckily, I have a YouTube channel that supports my hobbies, so there's multiple ways in this day and age to kind of get into expensive hobbies and collect things. Like, I don't know, pops. People love pops. I don't get them, but you know, to each their own. I'm doing Pokemon. I like it. My wife was into Pokemon and I got into it as well. I kind of enjoy it as well. And more I get to love it. And I love selling them on eBay. So same thing with knives. I sold most of my knives at Arizona Custom Knives. It is like they take 25%, but they do all the work. So consignment store. There's plenty consignment stores for Pokemon cards. I can go and trade them at the Pokemon stores as well at the 30% value. There's still Pokemon products investing / collecting. I think it's more like you want to be a collector before investor into Pokemon. But Pokemon is like, I mean, Pokemon collectibles, it should be like what, your 5% of your net worth. Once you have extra money to play with, you can invest into certain things, expensive things. It's just very risky. Or the way I like to do it is get other people to pay for my collection. First of all is YouTube, people watch it and I get to buy their stuff and open them. There's another way to do it, is buy big collections on eBay, various websites, yard sales, flea markets. I got lucky at flea market. I bought a pretty decent collection, and then they sell them on eBay or wherever the platforms. And kind of like, the more we do it, buying them, selling them, the more we get to collect it. And also, well, most people will say, well, I am too busy with my job, I don't want to do this, I don't want to sell cards because it's just time consuming. I think the best way to do it is kind of have it as a side hustle, whatever, collecting, and not overwhelming yourself. Just buy a little bit, open a little bit, keep the ones you love into your binder, whatever it is, Pokemon cards, watches, and whatever you know that is going to go up in value. Like Pokemon go up in value, up and down all the time. TCG Player has its own like market value of the Pokemon cards. Same thing with the books. You can track the market value of certain books. So probably will be 2 biggest examples here. So what you do is sell your cards, not the most cheapest cards. You sell them most expensive on the market value on eBay, or not the most expensive, but above everybody else. So that way you, when you sell it, you actually profit way more than the other people just trying to flip them. Or you can stay busy doing it. So there's depends how involved you want to be. Or even buying lots and selling lots, buying cheap and selling more. The whole point of what I want to talk about is finding like a niche that you really enjoy. Keep yourself busy a little bit, and at the same time grow your collection, and maybe one day it will pay all of the bills. Let's say I listed a million cards, and look at that, one listing on eBay, multi-quantity. So this item will be sold like 20 times. And let's say I sell 1 million Pokemon cards on $4 or $5 each. That's like $4 or $5 million listed. And it's really cheap to list Pokemon, really easy to list Pokemon cards. I don't think I'll have 1 million Pokemon cards, but the goal would be $1 million worth of Pokemon cards listed. The shipping on Pokemon cards under $20 is 69 cents. For books it'll be a little bit more expensive, it'll be $5. But we can build up to the point, at first I would sell cheap stuff and get to like, I don't know, 10,000 listings. And once I grow I scale it, I'm maybe only going to look for high-end expensive cards, buy them, and look for like 20-30% whatever you call it, profit on each card. And I could grade them and things like that. There's so many different ways. And the best part is, like, if a market collapses on whatever you like to collect, it's not a big deal because you're already enjoying, you know. If you like a bunch of watches, I don't know, gold coins, silver coins, a lot of people buying resale coins. That'll be an easy one, a very cheap way to ship them out. Especially silver ones probably would be the easiest to do, and slowly build up to maybe gold coins. And doesn't take much at all. Just gotta figure it out that like your business, I guess niche, and how you want to, how much profit you want to take. If you want to be way laid back, make it like much more expensive, like find those rare books and overprice them, but make sure those are very, very rare ones. Only buy super rare ones, so that way you're not stuck with a bunch of cheap books. With Pokemons is easy, people want the cheap stuff as well. But you know, there's a way to scale it to where you only buy $100 Pokemon cards and they sell them all for $120, or you grade a $50 card, and after it's graded in 10, maybe you triple your money because graded 10 cards are more expensive. So there's different type of niches again. You can buy apple peelers from 1800s and restore them a little bit, clean them. Like, I really enjoy the hobby. I used to be collecting apple peelers, believe it or not. With my YouTube channel, I collected everything. And what I've learned, like, you don't even need YouTube channel. There's so many knife dealers that I met that had a real job, and they were buying bulk knives and they're selling them online on eBay and on their website. And in 2020 their business blew up. They quit their job and they just start like having a full-time job reselling knives, to the point to their account was doing so good, the bank account, that the bank account had a question like, what are you selling, like so much money coming in? And it was knives, and they're like, this has got to be a scam. And the bank shut down their bank account for 30 days because they couldn't believe it. It's real. And you know what, it's so real, it's unbelievable. And yeah, now they're living a life of that person really likes what he's doing. His collection constantly growing, and he sells those knives all the time, and they just keep going. Even though that knife kind of market dropped quite a bit, they're still doing it. You know, it's better than be, I don't know, crane operator or whatever the job that you can have. construction worker or working at Walmart like I did. There's other ways to do it, like especially collections are so niche to where like it would be easy to make videos about on social platforms and kind of like find mine like people and actually start over the time. This is kind of like way harder and more advanced way to do it, but yeah, you could start making money off social media talking about your hobby. And once you're an expert how to making money on eBay or whatever platforms reselling that stuff, or even like coin stores would be buying, selling and profiting like 20, what did they profit, 20-30%. Pokemon stores the same way, they don't have social media and they're making 20-30% profit on the single cards. They buy it from you and they sell it. But what I was saying, kind of got lost on my thoughts here. But the point is like they doing what they love without social media, and then once you're an expert about it, you can create a social media account and actually talk about your hobby and how you selling it, how you profiting, and how you growing your collection of stuff. Could be anything. This is just a really fun way and the best way to collect that I know of. And it could be anything, whatever you guys into it. Just gotta find a way. What people collecting, like old Bibles, huge, like niche within a niche. Like the books by itself are really popular, its own niche. But if you only focus on really old Bibles and figure it out why that one Bible is worth way more money than the other ones, maybe something inside the written makes it like a couple $1,000s, and most people will sell them for $100 because they think it's just old, and you just buy them off of eBay for $100 and they sell them for $1,000. They're not going to sell every day, but you're going to grow your collection and knowledge of different type of books like that. That is, you can source them off of eBay, just like Pokemon cards. I can source them off of eBay because most people don't want to take their Pokemon cards into a store because stores will take up 30%. I sell it on auction and they actually end up selling it cheaper on auction than they would get cash out of the Pokemon store. But most of the time the auction will go up and they'll maybe get the same or better than a Pokemon store will pay them. So there's a good way of sourcing a lot of cards, a lot of books off of eBay for a sale, and at the same time grow the collection. You don't even have to go to yard sales to source certain things. Even coins, like definitely coins would be awesome, easy one to get in with silver. Buy certain year in bulk and sell them individually, higher than everybody else. Build up your reputation and boom, after a few years something will go up. At least silver will go up, the coins will sell. Look at the chart of the gold and silver and hopefully learn some numismatic ones, rare coins and things like that. There is also silver historical value. Boom. That stuff could be like another extra income, and for some lucky people who really like put thought into it, could like 5x the original income that there is a regular job is happening. So that's what I'm kind of trying to do. I try to do it with knives. Knives have like a really hard competition and they don't sell that as much. For a while there I built up a good collection, probably like $200,000 collection, but I don't know, it's just expensive, takes a lot of value. Pokemon holds up way less space. Look at all these boxes, and it's really popular. But again, they could be shut down and nobody cares about them anymore. Still pretty risky, but I'm having fun with it anyways. So here's like a little bit of a thought. Maybe like I inspire a couple people, maybe like at least 2 people will do the same with something that they collect. Maybe they start listing on eBay, sell 1, go buy 2, sell 2, go buy 4, you know, and keep on building up the collection to you have a big eBay store, Amazon store, whatever. So that's just something interesting. I have a eBay with a lot of Pokemon cards, knives, other stuff that I film. It's all part of my business, and now I figured, why not see where this collection will go. I'll list like 250 cards a month and see what happens. Anyways, nice talking to you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed and learned something new, and we'll see if I do another videos like that about something else. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.